If you're approaching 70 or already past it, please listen carefully. There's something nobody tells you about this stage of life. The objects you keep around you stop being just objects. They quietly start deciding how much freedom you'll have in the years ahead. Think about these questions for a moment. You walk into a room in your house and feel slightly overwhelmed, but you tell yourself it's fine. You keep clothes you haven't worn in 15 years because someday you might need them. You hold on to broken appliances, expired medications, stacks of papers, and old furniture just in case. You look at a closet full of memories and feel something tighten in your chest at the thought of letting any of it go. Sound familiar? We've been told our whole lives that the things we own are extensions of who we are, that getting rid of them means losing pieces of ourselves. But here's the shocking truth. After 70, holding on to the wrong things doesn't preserve your life. It quietly begins taking your life away from you, piece by piece, without you even noticing. Today I'm going to share 5 things you need to get rid of before you turn 70, or as soon as possible if you're already past that age. These aren't suggestions. They're warnings from people who learned the hard way. And the number one item on this list is the single biggest reason adult children start having that conversation with their parents about moving somewhere smaller, safer, or supervised. Studies show that 87% of older adults who lose their independence didn't lose it because of illness or sudden decline. They lost it because their environment slowly gave others a reason to believe they couldn't manage anymore. But here's the good news. Once you understand what to let go of, you take back control of how the rest of your life unfolds. If you believe protecting your independence after 70 is one of the most important things in life, please like and subscribe. Your support helps us keep creating these videos. Now let's begin with number 5. Number 5. Get rid of the clothes that belong to a version of you that no longer exists. The day you turn 70, your closet stops being a wardrobe and starts being a museum. And most older adults don't realize how heavy that museum has become until someone else points it out. Margaret Henderson is 72 years old and lives in Cleveland. She told me, "I opened my closet one morning and counted 14 dresses I hadn't worn in over a decade. Suits from my working years. Outfits 2 sizes smaller than I am now. Clothes I bought for a cruise my husband and I never got to take before he passed." I stood there staring, and I realized I wasn't looking at clothes anymore. I was looking at ghosts. A study from the Journal of Environmental Psychology found that older adults with overcrowded closets experience 40% higher levels of daily decision fatigue. Every morning, your brain has to filter through items that no longer serve you just to find something that does. That mental exhaustion compounds over the years, and most people blame it on aging when really it's their environment draining them. Here's what's really happening. The clothes from your 40s, your 50s, your career, your past life aren't just taking up physical space. They're taking up emotional space. Every time you see them, your brain runs a quiet comparison between who you were then and who you are now. And that comparison rarely makes you feel better. The real problem is this. When your adult children visit and open a closet packed with decades of unworn clothing, they don't see history. They see clutter. They see someone holding on. They see evidence that maybe, just maybe, you can't manage like you used to. Helen Brooks, 74, from Sacramento, told me her daughter visited last spring and casually opened the guest room closet. It was filled with garment bags, old coats, dresses from the 80s. Her daughter said nothing in the moment, but 2 weeks later she called and gently suggested Helen might want to think about downsizing. Helen told me, "She didn't see my closet, she saw a problem." So, what can you do? First, apply the 2-year rule with absolute honesty. If you haven't worn it in 2 years, you won't wear it again. Your body has changed. Your lifestyle has changed. The events you bought those clothes for either already happened or never will. Second, separate sentimental from functional. Keep 1 or 2 truly meaningful pieces and photograph the rest before donating. Memories live in your heart, not in fabric hanging unused. Third, donate while you still can. Choose where things go. The dignity of giving something away yourself is completely different from someone clearing it out for you later. Fourth, focus on comfort and ease. Clothes you can put on without struggle, fabrics that breathe, items that work with your current body, not the body you used to have. Dorothy Klein, 73, from Boise, donated 80% of her wardrobe last year. She kept what fits, what's comfortable, what she actually wears. She told me, Getting dressed used to take 20 minutes of frustration. Now it takes 3 minutes and I feel good. I didn't lose anything. I gained my mornings back. But while clothing is heavy, what comes next sits even closer to your heart. Number 4. Get rid of the broken things you've been telling yourself you'll fix someday. Every home of someone over 70 contains them. The lamp with the frayed cord sitting in the corner, the chair with the wobbly leg waiting in the garage, the toaster that only works if you hold the lever down, the radio that hasn't turned on in 5 years but you can't quite throw away. And here's the painful truth nobody wants to say out loud: someday isn't coming. A study by the National Institute on Aging found that 70% of older adults keep at least 15 broken or non-functional items in their home with the intention of repairing them. Of those items, less than 4% are ever actually fixed. The rest become permanent residents, quietly aging alongside the person who keeps them. These objects do something dangerous. They create what psychologists call ambient guilt. Every time you walk past that broken thing, a small voice in your head whispers, "You said you'd fix that." Multiply that by dozens of items, multiply that by years, and you create a household atmosphere of constant, low-level failure. Your home stops feeling like a place of rest and starts feeling like a list of unfinished obligations. Robert Bennett, 71, from Portland, kept his father's old toolbox, 3 broken radios, 2 non-working lamps, and a sewing machine that hadn't run since 1998. He told me, "I told myself for 20 years I was going to fix them. The truth is I was never going to. I just couldn't admit it. And every time I looked at them, I felt smaller, like I was failing my own promises to myself." There's something else that matters here. Broken objects are physically dangerous. Frayed cords cause fires. Wobbly furniture causes falls. Old appliances overheat. The Consumer Product Safety Commission reports that home accidents involving aging or damaged household items account for thousands of emergency room visits among adults over 70 each year. The thing you kept for safety reasons might be the thing that actually hurts you. And when your children see broken items piling up in your home, here's what they think. Not, "Mom and Dad have a project." They think, "Mom and Dad can't keep up anymore." That perception shift is the first step toward losing your voice in decisions about your own life. So, what can you do? First, give yourself a 30-day rule. Anything broken that hasn't been repaired in 30 days needs to be either professionally fixed by appointment this month or let go. Second, separate the emotional from the practical. If a broken object has sentimental value, photograph it. Keep a small piece if you must, but release the burden of repair. Third, replace, don't restore. Modern appliances are safer, easier to use, and often cheaper than the cost of repairing something 40 years old. Fourth, ask for help without shame. Calling someone to haul away broken items isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of wisdom. Eleanor Marsh, 75, from Tulsa, spent a single afternoon last summer letting go of every broken item in her home. She told me, "I felt 20 pounds lighter by dinner. My house stopped accusing me of failure every time I walked through it." However, as heavy as broken objects are, what comes next is something almost everyone over 70 holds on to for the wrong reasons. Number 3, get rid of the paper. All of it. The decades of paper that have quietly taken over your home. Walk into the home of anyone over 70 and you'll likely find them. Stacks of old bank statements, boxes of receipts from the 90s, greeting cards from people whose names you can no longer remember, magazines you swore you'd read, newspapers waiting to be clipped, manuals for appliances you no longer own, tax returns from 1987. A survey by the American Association of Retired Persons found that the average home of someone over 70 contains between 40 and 60 pounds of paper that serves no functional purpose. 40 to 60 pounds, that's not paperwork, that's an anchor. Here's what's really happening. Paper accumulates differently than other clutter because each individual piece feels small and harmless. A single envelope, a single article, a single card. But over years and decades, those small pieces become tons of stored anxiety. Because here's the thing about paper. You don't just keep it, you worry about it. Is it important? Should I shred it? What if I need it? What if someone needs it? That low-level worry never leaves your mind. Walter Cummings, 76, from Richmond, told me, "I had a filing cabinet, 3 desk drawers, and 4 boxes in the basement, all full of paper. When my son helped me sort through them last year, we found maybe 30 documents that actually mattered. The rest was just decades of stuff I was afraid to throw away. And there's a security risk too. Old documents with personal information, account numbers, social security numbers, medical records sitting in unsecured boxes are an identity theft waiting to happen. Adults over 70 are targeted for identity fraud at 3 times the rate of younger adults, and a significant portion of that comes from physical document theft. But the deeper problem is how paper makes you look to the people who love you. When adult children see stacks of paper in every room, on every surface, they don't think organized, they think overwhelmed. They start gently suggesting, maybe you need help managing your affairs. And once that suggestion starts, it rarely stops. What's the solution? First, keep only what is legally required. Tax records for 7 years, medical records for serious conditions, current insurance documents, property and estate documents. Everything else is candidate for shredding. Second, digitize what has sentimental value. Photographs of greeting cards, scans of letters, photos of children's drawings. The memory survives. The paper doesn't have to. Third, unsubscribe ruthlessly. Cancel paper statements. Cancel magazine subscriptions you never read. Cancel catalogs. Every piece of paper that stops arriving is a small victory. Fourth, schedule a single dedicated weekend for the Great Paper Purge. Not an ongoing project that drags on for months. One focused effort with a clear end date. Florence Ward, 78, from Madison, hired her grandson for a weekend to help her shred and sort. They filled 14 trash bags with paper. She told me, "I kept one folder. Everything I actually need fits in one folder. I wasted 30 years storing fear. But while paper is heavy, the next item on this list is heavier in ways most people don't expect." Number 2, get rid of the furniture that's too big, too low, too soft, or too dangerous for your body now. This one hurts because furniture often carries the deepest memories. The dining table where you raised your children, the couch where you watch television with your spouse, the bed you've slept in for 40 years. These pieces don't feel like objects, they feel like family. But after 70, the furniture that served you for decades can quietly become the thing that takes away your independence. Here's what most people don't realize. Your body's relationship with furniture changes completely after 70. Joints stiffen, muscles weaken, balance shifts. The deep couch that used to be comfortable now requires real effort to get out of. The low bed that felt cozy at 50 becomes a daily struggle at 72. The heavy dining chair you can't pull out without strain becomes a reason to skip family meals. A study from the American Geriatric Society found that 60% of falls among adults over 70 happen during transitions involving furniture. Getting up from a chair, sitting down on a bed, lowering into a couch, reaching for something on a high shelf. The furniture itself becomes the hazard. James Cartwright, 73, from Buffalo, told me, "I have a recliner my wife and I bought 25 years ago. It's beautiful. It's also so deep that I have to use both hands and rock forward 3 times to get out of it. Last winter I fell trying to stand up from it. That's when I realized something I had been ignoring for 2 years. The chair was too big for me now. But admitting that felt like admitting something about myself I wasn't ready to face. This is the heart of the matter. Letting go of furniture often means letting go of an identity. The version of you that filled that big house with that big furniture. The version of you with the strength and flexibility to live around any piece of decor. Releasing furniture means accepting that your body needs different support now. And acceptance is one of the hardest things in aging. But here's what's also true. Furniture that fits your current body keeps you in your home longer. Furniture that doesn't fit you accelerates the conversations about moving you somewhere else. So, what can you do? First, evaluate every major piece of furniture by a simple test. Can you sit down and stand up without using your hands? If not, that piece is working against you. Second, prioritize chairs with firm cushions, higher seats, and sturdy armrests. They aren't less elegant, they're more sustainable. Third, raise your bed if it's too low, or replace it with one designed for easier transitions. Fourth, clear pathways. Furniture pushed close together creates obstacles that become falls. Open spaces become safety. Fifth, let go of pieces that no longer fit your life, even the meaningful ones. Photograph them, tell their stories, pass them to family members who can use them. Their meaning travels with you, whether they're in your house or not. Mary Sullivan, 76, from Eugene, replaced her old low couch with a higher-seated chair and ottoman. She gave the couch to her granddaughter. She told me, "I cried the day they took it out. Then I sat in my new chair, stood up without struggling, and realized I had been making my own life harder for years." And now we come to the most important one. The thing that more than any other item changes how your adult children look at your ability to live independently. Number 1, get rid of the medications, supplements, and bottles you've been collecting in your kitchen, bathroom, and bedside table for years. This one shocks people. They expect the number 1 item to be about furniture or sentimental keepsakes or something emotional. But ask any geriatric physician, any home health nurse, any adult child who walked into their parents' home and felt their stomach drop. The moment that changes everything is when they open a cabinet or a drawer and see it. Bottles and bottles, old prescriptions, expired pain relievers, half-finished supplements, vitamins from 3 different doctors, sleep aids, stomach medications, allergy pills. Some labels faded, some bottles dating back 5, 10, even 15 years. A study from the Beers Criteria Research on Medication Safety in Older Adults found that the average person over 70 has between 14 and 22 different medications and supplements in their home at any given time. Of those, fewer than 7 are actually current and necessary. The rest are expired, discontinued, duplicated, or forgotten. And the consequences of this accumulation are far more serious than people realize. Medication errors are one of the leading causes of preventable hospitalization for adults over 70. Taking the wrong pill, taking a duplicate dose, taking something expired, taking something that interacts dangerously with something else. Each year, hundreds of thousands of older adults end up in emergency rooms because their medicine cabinet had become impossible to manage safely. Catherine Walsh, 77, from Tampa, told me her son visited last fall and asked if he could check her medications. She thought nothing of it. He spent an hour going through her cabinets and came back with 3 bags of bottles. Expired prescriptions from doctors she hadn't seen in years. Supplements her current doctor had told her to stop taking. 2 different pills for the same condition prescribed by 2 different specialists. She told me, "I thought I was being careful. I was actually a danger to myself." And the look on his face. That's the look every older parent fears. Here's the deeper truth. When your adult children see a chaotic medication situation, it triggers something profound in them. It tells them in one glance that their parents' ability to manage their own health may be slipping. And once they believe that, every other decision about your independence starts being filtered through that fear. The house feels too big. The driving seems too risky. The idea of living alone becomes too uncertain. But this isn't about being judged. It's about taking back control before someone has to take it for you. So, what can you do? First, schedule what pharmacists call a brown bag review. Gather every single medication and supplement in your home, put them in a bag, and take them to your primary care physician or pharmacist. They'll go through every item, identify duplicates, flag interactions, and tell you what to keep and what to discard. Second, dispose of expired medications safely. Most pharmacies offer free take-back programs. Never just throw them in the trash where they could be found or misused. Third, consolidate your prescriptions to a single pharmacy. One pharmacist who sees all your medications can catch dangerous interactions that multiple pharmacies will miss. Fourth, use a simple weekly pill organizer. The visual system of seeing what you've taken and what's left prevents both missed doses and double doses. Fifth, keep a current, accurate list of every medication you take with dosages and times on paper, posted somewhere visible. Update it whenever anything changes. Ruth Pendleton, 74, from Albuquerque, did a complete medication overhaul last year. She went from 19 bottles in her cabinet to 6. She told me, "When my daughter visited next, she opened the cabinet and just stood there. Then she smiled and said, 'Mom, this looks so manageable now.' She didn't say it, but I could see it in her eyes. She wasn't worried anymore." These 5 things aren't just items, they're decisions. Decisions about whether you stay in control of your own life or slowly hand that control over to someone else. The clothes that no longer fit you, the broken things you'll never fix, the decades of paper that no longer matter, the furniture that fights against your body, the medications that have become a hazard instead of a help. Letting go of these things isn't about losing your past. It's about protecting your future. It's about making sure that when your adult children walk through your home, they see a person who is still capable, still in charge, still living their own life on their own terms. Aging is inevitable, but losing your independence isn't. The difference between the two often lives in the smallest decisions: what you keep, what you release, what you allow to define the space around you. If this information opened your eyes to what really matters after 70, please share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment telling us which one of these 5 things surprised you the most, and subscribe so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching. Remember, after a certain age, the real luxury isn't owning more things. The real luxury is still being able to look around your own home and know that everything in it serves the life you're living now.